Welcome back to Good Morning Football. Kyle Brandt, we've got Nate Burleson, I'm Kay Adams, and Peter Schrager is standing by in a bit because we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills. They trade up. They're now in the 12th spot. They might want to trade up a little more. Guys, take a look. They have 6 picks in the first three rounds, 4 picks in the first 2. Maybe they'll want to move up a little bit. I'd love to know Brandon Beane's thoughts on the Jets trade as well. So let's send it over now to Peter Schrager, who's standing by with Bills GM Brandon Beane.
Good morning, Buffalo. That's what we're talking about right here, Kay. This is the man of the hour, Brandon Beane, the general manager of the Buffalo Bills. Bit of a wheeler and a dealer in recent history, the last couple of days and months. Everyone's talking about what are the Bills going to do in free agency? What are the Bills going to do in the draft? But one of the big moves was trading up and getting up to that 12 spot. Take us through that day when you and Cincinnati got on the phones and kind of said, let's make a deal.
Well, it started a couple days earlier. I knew they were in the market for a left tackle, and we had Cordy and Deion Dawkins had played well for us, and we just thought this was a good chance to from 21 to 12 is a big jump. It's kind of a second round value, and it took like a day or two, and we talked it through, and they decided this was the thing they needed to do, and we worked it out.
Now you got the 12 pick, you have the 22 pick, the draft capital is there. We on the show enjoyed what the Bills did during free agency with the quarterback position, where everyone else ran out and did the sweepstakes thing. You guys kind of stood back, waited your time, and you got a quarterback that you believe in. Tell us about A.J. McCarron and why he was the guy that you guys went for and signed in free agency.
Well, AJ's one of those guys. He's kind of been overlooked. He won, a national or 2 national championships in college. He won a state championship in high school, and he's drafted, I think 5th round in Cincinnati. He actually played a little bit and should have won a playoff game. A late fumble. They were down 15-0, and he rallies them back. And albeit for that fumble, he wins that game, which would have been Marvin Lewis's first playoff win. And he's just got a chip on his shoulder. Everybody said what a competitor he was, and we just thought it was a great fit for us and for him.
Now, I know he can't talk football with the coaches. Have you gotten a chance to speak with A.J. McCarron at all, and have you gotten a chance to maybe see that competitive fire and see, can I foresee this guy as our guy?
Yeah, we brought him in once we signed him and met him and his wife, and Sean and I sat down with him for a half hour or so and just talked through how he saw things, the things he had done well in Cincinnati, what he thought he was going to bring, and I think we're all on the same page. I think he'll definitely bring an element of leadership, toughness, and he's excited about the opportunity.
And Bills fans are excited. We spoke to Sean McDermott yesterday, and I said, our show is a national show, but the Bills fans are such a passionate fan base. Right now, they're loving what the team is doing. They're all excited for the draft. What's your message as general manager of the Buffalo Bills to Bills fans at home waking up this morning watching Good Morning Football saying, hey, here we go. Draft is coming, and another season where we've already been to the playoffs last year. What can we do next?
Yeah, Sean and I are still laying the foundation here. We've not arrived. We're not by any means, headed for, the Super Bowl or anything. We're not making any proclamations like that. We're still building this one step at a time. We're excited about the draft capital that we've acquired, even starting last August and now where we're at. But we're going to build this thing through the draft step by step. We've tried to fill some holes in free agency, but we're by no means there, but we're excited about where we're heading.
I can't ask about the particular players, and we're going to toss it back there, but there is a movie called Draft Day where the guy is a wheeler and dealer on draft day. Is Brandon Beane going to be the draft day guy where it's suddenly 7 trades, we're moving up, or do we have to wait and see?
I think we're going to have to wait and see. You never know. It's if it's a fit and on a win-win for the Bills, we'll definitely do it.
I love it. Guys, Bills fans are excited. I'm excited for this guy, and I'm excited for the franchise. Back to you in New York, Brandon Beane. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thanks, Peter.
Appreciate
Great stuff with Brandon Beane. They pick at 12 and 22 for now. We'll see where they actually pick a month from now in Dallas. Let's send it over to Will Selva in the NFL newsroom in L.A.
All right. Thank you, Kay. Appreciate that. Well, Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels was the Colts head coach, then he wasn't. Pulling the about-face in the 11th hour just before he was to be introduced to reporters, he finally addressed the controversy that saw him remain in New England. McDaniels telling the Boston Globe a meeting with owner Robert Kraft and head coach Bill Belichick changed his mind. In this meeting, McDaniels claims there was no guarantee about future positions. He says he wasn't 100% sure what the future was and didn't have any clarity on this. As Colts GM Chris Ballard said, the rivalry is back on. Oh, he could be getting more clarity on Dez Bryant's status in Dallas. Owner Jerry Jones says he expects to have a straightforward and candid meeting with his wide receiver in the next week. The expectation is Bryant will be asked to take a pay cut to reduce his $12.5 million salary number. Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer, meanwhile, giving some clarity on the team's decision to let Teddy Bridgewater go. He says the reports from the medical staff weren't as positive as was about Bridgewater's injured knee. Zimmer adding that Bridgewater moved well in practices, but still has some recovery to do. The Wall Street Journal's Jason Gay, friend of the show and Schrager sweater observer, interviewed Gisele Bündchen. She told him, among other things, her hubby Tom Brady likes fashion more than she likes fashion. She also tells Jason Brady has changed his haircut in 1 year more than she has changed in her whole life. Gisele also says donut holes are her guilty pleasure. Jason Gay of the Wall Street Journal, everybody, with the scoop there.
A friend of the show.
Coming up, yes, big-time friend of the show. Much more of the show coming up.